Welcome to the Black Man Spy podcast. If you're watching me, the Black Man Spy, well, then you're in the right place. And if you don't, you're in the wrong place. But then again, stay around and watch anyway. Welcome to the Black Man Spy, U.S., Iran, now Yemen, and a bit of Greenland watch cast. Day number 27/162. I think I might have gotten it wrong in my thing saying it was 163, but we can change that. It is day 27 of the second phase of the U.S.-Iran war, which is now in negotiation again. And we are on day 162 since the United States and Israel attacked Iran in a preemptive attack, which was supposed to take away their nuclear facilities and missile production capability. And all of their armed forces are destroyed and they have nothing, and we're still at war. So that happening, let me introduce our co-host, Jacob Carsbo, Danish intelligence officer extraordinaire, reporting to us from Copenhagen, Denmark. I almost said Sweden. Oh, that would have been an insult. And who is Abu Viking, by the way?
His
kunya is Abu Viking because he had a couple of little Viking kids. And
or Ben Denmark.
or Ben Chu?
Ben Denmark.
That's right. Jakub bin Denmarki. All right.
Yeah.
There has been an Al Denmarki terrorist in ISIS.
Oh my God.
I'm sure you saw that.
Yeah.
Right?
That was several. We were chasing them, man.
Yeah, I know. And with us from Minneapolis, Minnesota is Wajeeh, the gay lion, Saudi geopolitical analyst, and Gulf states expert. We're going to have a lot to talk about with you, Waj, because all sorts of kooky shit is happening, and it all seems to be centered around Saudi Arabia. But before we go, do you have your genie coffee mug today, or are you rocking something special? What is that? Okay, I guess.
Handmade.
And Jacob, what does yours say?
National Security Agency.
What?
Ah.
The NSA.
Is it encoded?
It's encoded, and then it says here, National Security Agency.
I gotta tell you something. Oh, there it is. There's your Fort code mug. I'm sure I have an original Fort Meade mug here from way back. There's an ancient CIA mug. But do you have your NSA decoder ring? literal NSA. This is your cipher disk. And your coffee cup, I can see is just a simple substitution because the letters are equated to the symbols. Should have put that in 5-digit groups there, buddy. So anyway, this is actually...
But it's made in China, Malcolm. Let's remember it's made in China.
Oh, okay, that's true. This is so old. I think I got one of these at induction. And I think this is from the induction, from the old, before there was an actual big museum there. There was just a little room. Anywho, I, of course, am just still sporting my Navy coffee mugs because I need it hot, fast, and deep today. So, and we already have spectacular penetrations on the registry, right? Come on.
There you go.
So let's start with the price of oil, Wajeeh. Has it gone up another $6 and then dropped $3 in the last hour? It's been that crazy.
It's actually here. Let me refresh the page to make sure. WTI is sitting at $78.18. Brent crude is sitting at $83.55. Marban is sitting at $80.25. And OPEC is sitting at $76.97. It seems like everything is almost up between 70 cents to $1.
All right. Going up 70 cents to $1 or down?
Going up.
Going up. I wonder what could have done that, considering that it's a Sunday and the markets don't even open till this afternoon. I don't know. Maybe it's because oil fields are blowing up. But the problem is we see oil fields blowing up and it goes up $1. And then Trump says something stupid or Scott Bessent says something stupid, it goes down $10. Right? Not tied to reality by any stretch of the imagination. Somebody said, did I lose the beret of stupidity? Actually, I did. It's with my good friend Rich, who is on here in the bag that I left with him in Paris. So it is in the Saint Denis neighborhood of Paris. I have I got a tracker on it. I know exactly where the beret of stupidity is. We will eventually get that back. But the stupid is flying so hard and so fast, I would have to wear it all the time. So for everybody who is here, for those of you who are paid subscribers and here in our paid subscriber chat, thank you for your comments. Somebody wants to know where I got my cool Angola shirt from. I don't know. I'm guessing the country, not the prison. So, and it says it here. It says Luanda, right? So, been there, done that, got the T-shirt. And for those of you who don't know, they speak Portuguese there. So, very interesting.
But I mean, I used to live in Maputo, and
what?
I will say Maputo, they rob you, but in Luanda, it's worse. So Maputo in Mozambique is civilized compared to Luanda.
I did not hear that. I heard that in Maputo, they rob you and then they ask you for $1.
But in Luanda, they rob you and they ask you for 10 million, And I know my friends, they were robbed. They had thieves breaking into their house, and they were living in this street. And they came in, and all the guards outside were asleep. So they came in. My friend chased them out, and then it turns out they got out in the street, and the car wouldn't work. So they just pushed it. It was slightly downhill, and down the end of the street there was the police station. So very clever thieves in Maputo.
I got to tell you, that's a country that I haven't been to, Mozambique.
You haven't?
No, we should go. We should take a trip over there. But
you have to watch your back a little bit. But.
Bro, I've been to Johannesburg. Okay, Johannesburg. You just schedule your robbery, right? There's an app, right, called "I Rob Your Ass." You go to Joburg, and they go, and it comes up. You get notifications at the airport. Welcome to Johannesburg. During your trip, you are scheduled to be robbed, strong-armed robbed at least once, carjacked attempt at least twice. What time would be most convenient for you?
I was through Joburg at Christmas. It wasn't too bad.
I know. Well, it just depends on where you are. Okay. Don't leave your armed hotel. But Cape Town's awesome. Cape Town's absolutely amazing. Jacob and Malcolm's Excellent Adventure. That should be a show. We should do a travel show. And the funny thing is, a few years ago, I was approached by, not Discovery, National Geographic, about a travel show. And I have a 6-wheeled Land Rover. Actually, it's an Australian Army ambulance. Land Rover Defender called a Parenti. And we were going to rig it out and start in Alaska and drive this big ambulance as an overlander all the way down to Valparaiso, right? In Latin America. And, they were like, oh, this is a great idea. But one of the people said, oh, there's already a black travel show. And I was like, wait, who? And it was Will Smith. Did like 3 episodes of like going to Vegas or I'm like, we're talking about overlanding the world right?
A
Rioting.
black guy did that one time, so another black guy can't do it again.
Yeah, but it was Will Smith, the actor, and they were like, "Well, we can't go up
Going
against
to
that."
Vegas.
I'm going to Vegas. Shit, I've been to Greenland 4 times. How many times has he been there? And I need to get back by October so we can, there's some caribou that have our
Mr.
name
Will
written on it.
Smith, Mr. Will Smith, you need to make it up for our friend here, Black Man Spy.
Yeah.
He
Somebody
needs
says,
to stop.
somebody
Pull
says,
some
wait,
string and make it happen.
somebody says, wait, is he going to slap you?
You
It
know
could
his hand
happen.
will be broken soon after that.
It could happen. I'd be ducking though. So, absolutely fun. So yeah, I wouldn't mind getting down to Maputo. I wouldn't mind doing a short, but they are having a Islamic State of Mozambique problem there. And you would never believe it, but there are these tiny pockets
But
of Islamic
that
extremists.
that's almost 2,000 kilometers from Maputo. So
Yeah,
Mozambique is a
so
big country.
yeah, well, so
Yeah.
is Angola. That's 2,000 kilometers away.
Exactly.
Right? You don't think that's going to set me off, right? And don't forget, the nice parts of Angola are adjacent to Kruger National, not Angola, Mozambique, are adjacent to the Kruger National Park.
It's right on
Right?
the border. I was there. I was there in December.
Oh, yeah?
No?
What? You went to Kruger?
Yeah. Yeah, of course I went to Kruger.
I didn't hear any invitations going out here. I didn't
What?
say, hey, if any of you guys want to go to Kruger National Park with me, I'd be like, I'm already at JFK.
I was on family vacation in the Kruger. Where else would you want to go,
But we're your family, brother. We're your family. And you take me with you. I can be your gun walla.
Yeah, but no guns in the Kruger, man. They don't want what do they call it, poachers.
You and I have got to go on an anti-poaching training mission.
Exactly.
Right? Where they train us on how you do it. Anywho's, all right. Well, we are
if you want to see Jacob and Malcolm traveling around the world, become a paid subscriber for their platform. Support them so they can go and show you across the globe.
It's like I'm changing to my headphones. All right, so my audio should be a lot better because I couldn't hear you so well. But yeah, that's not a bad idea, right? I got to tell you a funny story since we're just this shy of 1,000 followers. When I was in Ukraine, I had a guy who was British. He and I became really close friends. His call sign was Maca, King of Drones. And he was our drone guy. He used to be a drone instructor in England, for commercial drones. And he was the guy who was helping develop our drop bombing systems and everything. And I made a chair that said Maca, King of Drones. It was really classic. And we used to do this thing when we would go to the checkpoints. And the checkpoints in Ukraine, you have to have code word of the day, right? Sign, countersign. And the countersigns were transmitted to everybody by text message, but they're in Ukrainian. They're in Cyrillic, of course, right? And I would get to these checkpoints in our big Pajero lifted round the world truck. And we would get to these checkpoints and they would go sign, sign of the day, password. And I would whip out my phone and Macca would go, no problem, mate, cheerio. And he'd say drive. And first couple of times I did, I go, we're going to get killed, right? He goes, they know we're foreigners in the Legion. They just let us go. But finally, I just started stopping and trying to read the words. And the guard would sit there like, no, that's not how it's pronounced. That's not how it's pronounced. And Macca would go, all right, off we go.
News.
All right. Breaking news is
Explosions have been heard in Saudi Arabia's Jebel, with fires being reported at gas facilities.
What?
No.
8 hours behind, bro.
Now.
Oh, there's new ones, new explosions. Khalas.
No.
So they hit it again? Okay.
I think so.
That's not fun. Let's check
I
one
just,
last because
I just,
they were
I just
Jubail
got the
was hit.
message.
Jubail was hit
Oh, who
8
did it?
hours ago
I
by
know
the
who did it.
Houthis. Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on.
Abu
By the
Viking.
Houthis, but they were assisted by Al Nujaba,
Yeah,
the most radical of the Shia factions in Iraq. Al
No,
Nujaba, because one of their leaders has been out denouncing the soft Shia, like Al Amiri, that we talked about the other day from the Badra organization. And he has been out saying, we need to get revenge because the Saudis attacked us. So when we are attacked, we don't accept payments, we attack back.
Yeah. Well, I have the video from last night's report, and let me tell you something. The news media is being ridiculously careful about this story. No major news media has confirmed it. The Saudis have put a clamp down on it. There's one video clearly showing a gas field on fire that supposedly came from the Jubail facility, and no community notes saying that it was from like 2012 or something like that. So
I'm triple
Jubail
checking.
Saudi.
I'm
Yeah,
triple checking. It is the same news from the 8 hours. Is just bringing it up again.
Voila. Okay. Yeah, that's why I mentioned it in our pre-show. Okay, back to my story. Macca King of Drones used to do this thing where I would try to do the checklist and he would say, "Thanks, mate." And he would just drive through the checkpoint, right? And so we decided we were going to do a buddy show, a buddy show called Macca and Mate, or what was it? No, Mangle and Mate. And it would be Mangle is the Black Legionnaire who tries to speak Ukrainian, and Mate is his buddy who just dares and drives through checkpoints, right? And that's all the show would be, is us going through dangerous checkpoints and me trying to read the code word and him just going, "Thanks, mate," and driving right through the checkpoints. It was hilarious at the time because we could have died. But Jacob and I could do that show. We could do Abu Viking Black Man Spy and Abu Viking. I don't know. Well, you guys in the chat, you're our followers, our subscribers. Come up with a name for a show with Jacob and I. And Wajeeh can't travel, so he'd have to be the guy on the computer back home who gets us out of the situation.
You have to help me become a U.S. citizen so I can travel with them. If you don't help me become a U.S. citizen, I can't travel.
Wajeeh will be the guy on the computer who helps us out, but he will always be 8 hours behind.
Yes, Agent. Yes, Agent 47.
Thanks for your help, mate.
Don't go to that checkpoint. There are guerrillas occupying it. We're going to be like over a pot, right? And tied with them calling the CIA for our ransom, and we'll be like, "Thanks."
Thanks.
Got you guys.
Always timely. Always timely help.
All right. We have reached 1,000 followers. We have reached 1,000 followers, and which means it is time for us to stop having a good time and to go back. Look, 22 after. God, we went long. Go back and have a go over our significant activities. As you heard, one of the significant activities is that there is reports that Saudi Arabia's largest gas field, largest gas field in eastern Saudi Arabia, not in western Saudi Arabia, nowhere near Yemen, has been struck by a series of drone attacks. I will show you the Aramco facility
It's up here.
Okay, Khalas. I was actually going to bring it up. There's a weird thing. I don't know if you guys
you have Qatar here, you have UAE here, and Jubail here.
Okay, I will bring it up. I will bring the video imagery up. And this is what it was, the Jubail. I think it's called the Batel Natural Gas Field. It has been confirmed that something is going on there. by the NASA firm satellite. It had a 12 megawatt instant flame over there in multiple sites on there. I will bring that back to you because I don't know if any of you have noticed, but Twitter has turned into like a porn site. I mean, type in if you want something interesting. This is an experiment for you, Wajeeh, because you're immune to this stuff.
I'm quite familiar with Twitter.
Under search and type the word Jubail and show me how many semi-nude women Twitter feeds come up on there. Because I think they've got Saudi Gulf state men figured out, right? Guys will
the hashtag in Arabic is even worse. But Twitter for a long time has been even before now for years. It's been used as a porn site. Most of the people don't know.
Well, it's ridiculous. I mean, because it's like those old satellite TV ads. That was like the big thing coming in on Skyhawk, or what was the name of it? The Saudi and other satellite channels where the Italian porn was always, soft porn was Call Me. And they were making bank off of Saudis. I mean, millions upon millions. Now it's on Twitter. This image that you are looking at is the NASA firm's satellite. Everywhere you see a red square is a heat signature that exceeds its previously cold heat signature. If there were, in fact, because it is a gas plant, a flare off of unwanted gases, there would be maybe one of those. But as you see, it is everywhere across that plant, and that is usually an indicator that that site has not only been hit, that it has had multiple explosions, and that the fires are raging across the length of the entire site. That is as good a confirmation as anybody's going to get. Of course, you have those naysayers who are in Saudi Arabia or work for the Saudi government who come out and say, no, it is just maintenance.
Are you blind? Are you blind? What do you know? What are you there? Have you seen it yourself? You're just a propagandist. You're a hater. You don't believe into the Saudi 2030 vision, and you must be also a spy, huh?
And spy, all spy. By the way, this is what the facility looks like without the firms going on. They're unexploded. All right. That is what it looks like in its natural unexploded form. Not burning, today burning. And you will see over time, they will get the imagery out of there. The Saudis, like the Emiratis, have a 100% clamp on everything that goes on the internet. But you'll see inventive guys who they even intercept and block VPNs in Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states. But there are people who have like illegally hacked Starlinks, people who use satellite radio, satellite internet, things like that, who get out. And 99.9% of what they do it for is what, Wajeeh? What do Saudi men spend all their time on the internet looking at?
Porn.
All right. I learned this not the hard way, but I learned this in an interesting facet. Al-Qaeda before they transitioned into ISIS. That's all these guys did, man. They were just porn hounds. Wherever they could get access to some porn. Osama bin Laden's porn collection is, SEAL Team 6 has it inside their team house, right? It reminds me of one thing of an event that I had that taught me a lesson. I went shopping one day in Dubai and I met this 65-year-old man. And my wife was there and he was like oogling her. And I had to do the thing where you step in between them and look them in the eye like you're going to kick their ass. And the guy was like, "Oh, no problem. I am sorry." But my wife went out and I was picking up whatever the goods were. And he wanted to know what it was like to be married and have sex. He's 65. There are many parts of this world where there are men like China who have never had relations with people. And in that part of the world, that's all they want. They want access to anything that's forbidden, especially if you can execute everybody around you as a hypocrite for watching porn. So, yes, incels, definitely involuntary celibates, but it's cultural and throughout the Middle East, very cultural. South Asia, Asia itself, which is why everyone still does arranged marriages and marriages so that, this is their thing. Have children. Children is your social safety net. It is also your future insurance. So, somebody says Iraqi Camp Victory guys at Camp Victory kept putting viruses on their computers while I was stationed there. My IT specialist kept going over there to debug their computers because of their porn usage. Okay. Yeah, because they click on everything.
Did I meet this
Yes.
guy? Did I meet this guy at Camp Victory back in the day? I might have.
It's possibly. You guys should hook up on the DMs. He's in the chat.
Maybe I should start an arranged marriage program for all these incels in America. Yeah, because if you're an incel, you still need a relationship. Someone needs to help you out. We understand as Saudis. We understand. We'll do a nonprofit 501c3. Get all of the American incels married in America. No worries. I'll help you guys out. No worries. Consultant.
Look, you would make an enormous amount of money if you would just scam them. They will still give you all that money. Just take it and walk away. And what are they going to do? Tell all their friends they got scammed? They get scammed right now anyway. So let's move on. Jubail natural gas facility it appears to be completely and wholly on fire. If the Houthis have fired at it, there is a good argument that the Yemenis launched drones from the south. They came from south to north, and Saudi air defense and intelligence is not looking in that direction. On the East Coast, they are looking east. On the West Coast, they're looking south and west. But if you have drones that are crossing from the south to the northeast, it's just an attack vector that people say, oh, that's not, the Houthis didn't do that. The Iraqis are going to hit Jubail. So we're looking to the north and the east. And it comes from behind you. They did this before. I always call attention to people. They carried out a drone attack on Abu Dhabi 4 years ago that shocked everybody. That drone flew across the entire empty quarter and hit Abu Dhabi airport near the royal flight, right? Which is the crown prince. And it was just a message. We have the ability to come and touch you if we want to. We just don't feel like it right now. So, Jubail, that's probably why gas is up $1. By this afternoon, it'll be up $10. Somebody says Warcast and Saudi porn talk by Malcolm X. That could be its own podcast. If I were to tell you all the places, someday we will have we did that, didn't we? We were going to do that. We were going to have Black Man Spy After Dark. And we were going to talk about all the crazy stuff out there, like my trips to Soy Cowboy. Okay, Yemen. In addition
Malcolm,
to that
being said, it could be both, because we've also seen attacks from Iraq
down to Abu Dhabi. Is this the 2-for-1 attack the Saudis were waiting for? Because not only did Jubail get hit last night, Jizan oil refinery down on the Yemeni-Saudi border was also struck. No casualties reported there. They did have a fire. It was put out relatively quickly.
That's right.
So is this the twofer that the Saudis were waiting for? Well, if it was, they really put the hurt on the Saudis by hitting the Berry gas station, cracking plant in Jubail. That is a big facility. I've driven past Jubail Industrial. It's just oil from there all the way up to Kafji. There ain't nothing but oil, baby. Nothing but oil.
Here's what's interesting, right? This is happening in the midst where Saudi Arabia just signed the Mecca Agreement, where it was signed in Mecca, signifying an actual religious unification between the largest Sunni military, and now signaling that they are wanting to also include Egypt. But if this is how it's starting, and we're not even seeing any mobilization from Turkey right away, we're not seeing any mobilization directly, immediately from Pakistan, that really gives you a good indication of how serious an alliance like this would be. It's more like for titles and images than anything else. And when the Houthi does these attacks, they are expanding the war. They are making it more expensive for the Saudis, and in the long run, it's going to show that all of these alliances are not going to lead anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, and they put on paper an attack on one is attack on all, which is bullshit, and we all know it because the Turks are preoccupied up north, in the Kurdish areas. The Egyptians have their own problem; they're not even in this thing together. And the Pakistanis have lots of trouble of their own, including vis-a-vis Afghanistan. But they're in it because of their nukes. And what do they matter in these scenarios? Nothing at all. So, yeah. It's not an alliance.
I do not expect to see Saudi Arabia suddenly being flooded with Turkish army soldiers or air defense around their oil fields. I mean, they could have done that without a giant defense alliance. This is clearly supposed to be a NATO counterbalance. And that's what Erdogan said. This is Sunni Arab NATO as a counterbalance to Iran's Shia overmatch in manpower in that part of the world. And for me, it's really about deterring a ground invasion. And as weak as Kuwait is today, and as Shia heavy as Iraq in its popular mobilization fronts today, if Iran wanted to stage a ground invasion, quick blitz, they could get onto Saudi soil. They could get onto Emirati soil. I warned that during the war. They could land 100 guys in Ras Al Khaimah and go and as we used to say, air-assing around this, down the main highway, and they wouldn't be stopped until they were having ice cream outside, Mall of the Emirates. So, which is where the Burj Khalifa is. And you get to kill them all because they'd all be taking photographs of all the tourist sites. They'd probably take the metro from mission target to mission target. They actually have the ability to get down there, right? But you know what they really do?
Metro, the train,
the overhead, the train, up the right, the elevated train metro of Dubai.
Yeah.
So you'd probably catch them going into Gucci and all the other stores in Mall of the Emirates or Dubai Mall. Okay. Hey, Foreign Minister Arachi has made a statement in the last hour that says, quote, "We currently have no negotiations with America." Yes, messages are being exchanged through intermediaries. We ain't negotiating, but we
talk to your
talking.
friends to talk to my friends to talk to me.
That's right. I'm not going to talk to him. You tell him that I want the Strait of Hormuz open and the naval blockade lifted, because I'm not going to tell him. The guy goes, hey, he wants the Strait of Hormuz open and the naval blockade lifted. They're sitting right next to each other, right? Like 5-year-olds for the most part, which brings us to the Strait of Hormuz itself. China, the foreign minister of China made some very pointed remarks about the status of the Strait of Hormuz that I think are important. She says, the Chinese foreign minister said, the Strait of Hormuz was open before the war. The root of the problem lies in your illegal operations against Iran.
No, it was closed.
You created You created a global crisis out of nothing. All right, folks, we're getting lectured by China. Okay, not a good position for democracies to be in when the communists have to come and tell us what our pre-war standards were. And she's just like, you guys did this. You broke it. You bought it, technically. And the root of the problem lies in your illegal operations against Iran. And you know, she's licking her chops. She's like, damn, Iran's going to make a lot of money in this war. How many weapons can we sell them? What do we have in inventory? Plenty.
Okay, we got to make business out of this.
Got to make they're communists who act like capitalists. So to help them defend against the imperialist America, you have to have capitalist China sell communist weapons to anti-capitalist Iran, or whatever you want to call it, theocratic Iran. Next, another place we forgot to add, Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary of the United States, had the nerve to say this yesterday. The Strait of Hormuz essentially will not be as important as it is now. He said, quote, ready? Clear your mouths. Don't drink any coffee. It will be a random body of water in 2 years. Insignificant. That's what the Treasury Secretary said about 20% of the
Isn't that the same guy that had lunch at Epstein Island?
Yeah, well, no. That was Nutlick. Howard Nutlick. But no, this is Scott Bessent, who believes in unicorns and fairies and all sorts of things. What did Scott Bessent say yesterday that was stupid?
It's comical alley. You know, it's like comical alley. There are no American soldiers in Iraq.
That's fair. None of them, not even the ones here over my shoulder.
They are right behind me. No, they are not here.
Especially them. They are definitely not here. And those guys either. Right? You guys gotta leave this alone. Bessent said yesterday, and this was part of the same interview, the Strait of Hormuz is never going back to what it was. And the second part of the interview, he said, because it's going to be insignificant. It will be, let me read that back again, a random body of water in 2.5 years.
Baby, if it is so significant, why are you so butthurt? It's like someone that broke up with his girlfriend broke up with him. It's like, I didn't like you, ugly anyways. Like, motherfucker, like, what you talking about? Like, you can't even get it at the moment. Like,
well, all I'm saying is this. As hilarious as Scott Bessent is, and he is giving our friend Comical Alley Major General Mohammed Saeed Sahab, who was my dentist's father-in-law in Abu Dhabi. And he invited me over to Sahab's house because here's a little thing you don't know about Mohammed Sahab, who was the information minister for Saddam Hussein. He was clearly a Saudi and Emirati intelligence asset his entire career. And the minute that war ended, brother opened up at a villa on the Corniche in Abu Dhabi. Boom, gone. And so I'm getting my new dentist, and he's Iraqi, and I'm talking about how I lived in Baghdad. And he goes, Mohammed Sahaf is my uncle. I'm like, what? No, I'm his son-in-law. He's my father-in-law. And I'm like, my Iraqi dentist who's putting in my filling, his comical Alley's son-in-law. And he goes, he lives down on Corniche. You should come. Baby. The world is this big. But Comical Alley, as we called him, was in fact a foreign intelligence asset. And he was reporting everything that Saddam was doing. Interesting to say. Actually, and another interesting note about him. If I'm not mistaken, despite his name, he was a Christian. He was not a Muslim.
Oh, that was
If I'm
Tariq
not mistaken.
Assis. That was
Was it
Tariq Assis.
the foreign minister.
That's the
Tariq
foreign
Aziz.
minister.
Halas. I knew there was some trickery going on there. Okay, well, back to Yemen, because enough from Scott Bessent. The city that Jacob and I need to go to right away, Mocha. Mocha has been attacked by the Houthis. The port of Mocha was a Houthi stronghold right up till 2017. It was taken back in a combined arms attack by the Transitional National Government of Yemen, the Saudi Army, the Emirati Army, and U.S. Special Operations took that back. And Malcolm, wow, that is an amazing series or amazing data resource that you have about Yemen. How's it you know so much? Because I went into my personal library and found my copy of Ginny Hill's book, Yemen Endures. And I have another book called The Saudi Intervention in Yemen. So every once in a while, I like to go back and go, Mocha. Check out, where's the last time Mocha was engaged by the Saudi army? And that book is way too detailed, guys. Way too detailed. That's like 400 pages, which it could have been explained in a 100-page Cliff Notes. But she does a great job, London School of Economics, and a specialist on Yemen. And I don't know. There's only one way you can actually say if you are a specialist in Yemen. Not living in Yemen, you have to have one, a really nice jambiya khanjar, right? Knife. Okay. Two, you have to really know where to get the really dark black honey. And three, you need to be an expert on the levels of quality of khat, right? Of khat, which is a mildly narcotic plant that you chew that keeps you one step from paradise. That's what I was told. One step. One more step, halas, you are in paradise.
They chew on it, and then they fill their side mouth with it, and then they drink water, and they swallow. It's almost like chewing tobacco, but it makes you high.
Gets you high, y'all. Yeah. This ain't caffeine rush. All right,
you can actually use it for mojito instead of mint leaves. You know, you can use khat in the mojito.
You lie. I want it. First off, we got to find something. Come on. I say I am all about going to Yemen. If you can have these idiots like Jackson Hinkle and who's that moron, Nick Shirley, go to Ceuta, right? And go, I'm in Ceuta. Let me talk to the people who all hate America, right? You and I can go to Yemen. First, we fly to Aden, right? Then we got to go up to the honey farms, because you can't do there. And then while we're there, we need to do a side trip over to Socotra Island. At some point, we'll get up to the Houthis, right? But you got to do the full culture and tourist trip. Socotra Island, right down. No, go down to Aden and go. Oh, there it is. Socotra. There you go.
It's here, off the Horn of Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that means boat trip over to Somaliland, Raj.
Yeah,
because you can't go there without. We'll take a bus. Then we'll take a jingly bus up from Somaliland back to the Eritrean border. We'll cross over through Djibouti, and then we'll hang out at Camp Lemonnier because I'm a retired Navy veteran, which means I can go to the commissary and exchange there.
So you're going to leave me just outside, or what? Djibouti is a shithole.
No one said none of these were shitholes. That's the charm of them. That's why I like them, because they're cultural events, right? That happen in your life. And then we'll take the boat over, our own Somali pirate charter boat, over to Mocha, okay?
Yeah.
And we will go to Mocha. And when we get there, the
right here north
Yemen
of the Bab el Mandeb, you have Mocha and here's Djibouti. So, yeah.
Mocha is the closest port to the Bab el Mandeb, which is why they expended so much effort in taking it. We just want to say that we went and got a couple of bags of coffee. And while we're there, we'll go look at the damage to the port because the Houthis attacked the port yesterday and damaged
and
it.
a dagger or two.
And halas. Okay. And then we will contact the press spokesman for the Houthis and we'll say, hey, listen, look, we know we're a bunch of old spies, but y'all want to come give us a press briefing? It'll take about 3 years before we get rescued, but we will definitely get the full exposure while we're there. So Mocha has been hit by the Houthis. They set a small fire to the port of Mocha, and the Houthis may want to make an offensive against it because they really need that port back. Port of Hodeidah has been badly damaged by the Israelis and the Americans. Finally, before we get
the big port up here, Hodeidah.
Yep. Before we get to our extra special segment of this, someone has once again reminded me that I did not do my chat for non-paying subscribers. I will bring that up right now under the chat. And wow, my own show is playing right in front of me.
While you do that, Malcolm, I'll just mention what surfaced yesterday also and was posted by New York Times and The Hill and I don't know what. These 6 points by Iran, the conditions for opening the Strait of Hormuz, and essentially they're presented as something new, but it's not anything new, and lots of it is actually in the MOU. So even though it's presented as news, it's just Iran racing again. By the way, remember we want to stop the war on all fronts, also in Lebanon, etc., and the pressure on the Houthis in Yemen and the bombardments in Iraq must cease. And America needs to close its bases in the Gulf and all that. It's actually, and we need payment up front for the frozen assets and stuff like that. So they're just maxing out on their demands because they know
maxing.
Trump is in deep shit and that he's looking for a way out. So that is why the Iranians are pushing it.
They are definitely demand maxing, just everything.
I mean, if you think about it, their demands haven't really changed much other than they're even more determined about it. They want it. They still want to charge over the Strait of Hormuz. They still want to do their enrichment. They want to keep their allies, and they want to keep their missiles. Nothing has changed from their demand. Oh, lifting the American sanctions and the blockade. Nothing has changed. It's just the same exact demands Iran had since day one. The same exact demands Iran has now. It just hurts us more. Yeah. They literally bending on end.
How can Trump get out of that humiliation? The answer is he can't. Because they'll keep. It's only if he goes for the full Monty regime change and gets 300,000, 500,000 soldiers, and then levels the whole place. But he can't do that. So
not happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's enough for the Middle East. I would like to segue off into another place. Jacob has already done a special cast for this. I couldn't make it, and I'm glad that you got the opportunity to speak about this with your subscribers. And I'd like to bring it up again because I think people need to go back to this. As you guys know, a year and a half ago, I quietly flew to Greenland because I saw what was going on as a major U.S. operation. That the ironic thing was, while I was in the air, a New York Times report came out that the United States was sending spies, was opening tasking for Greenland to spy on Greenland. And then suddenly I became a sort of a micro celebrity in Denmark and Greenland because I was a spy arriving, but I was the good guy. I was there to explain how this is the most ridiculous intelligence operation in the history of the United States. You may as well be spying on the penguins of that island in the Antarctic that Trump gave tariffs to, right? And to tell you the truth, you gain more intelligence watching the penguins than you would this way. So, as you know, as somebody says, spy journalism. As you know, when I was on MSNBC, I always used to say this. Even though I'm a member of the National Association of Black Journalists, even though I've written 4 New York Times bestsellers, 10 books, I am not a journalist because journalists go to school for that. And they have ethics. We're just spies who talk on television.
They don't go
and
to
social
spy
media.
school.
They don't go to spy school, and they don't learn how to
They
steal
go to
shit.
writing school or something.
Yeah, whatever that is, and how to all them standards, which is why that guy from New Yorker's article took a year to say what you and I said on television. I said it in 45 minutes on the Lippert report.
Lippert.
You said it. You say it on Danish news in 2 minutes, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that there is fuckery abounding again in Greenland. Now, I've been there 4 times, and every time I thought, this should be the end of it. No, now money is involved, billions of dollars, at least a cool $250 million was raised for a company called Greenland Energy, which did not exist 1 year ago. 1 year ago, a British company that had exploratory mining rights in a place called Jameson Land in northeastern Greenland, which is where Jacob is pointing. I'm going to tell y'all something about that. I thought about going up there, right? It's a Tortomik. And I have been trying to learn Kalalishut for a year. It is the hardest language. It's almost Martian. So anyway, this company, a British company, had nominal rights that they had bought in 2021. And then the Greenland government cut off all exploratory rights. An American company associated with Donald Trump bought the rights from that company and are now carrying out this claim that they're carrying out this exploratory activity on behalf of themselves. The guy who was the CEO of the company was a Trump-associated former Navy man named Larry Sweats, who was previously assigned to get contracts for the Golden Dome ballistic missile thing, right? Go figure. And now he's running a company called Greenland Energy that has been set to carry out to dig 2 wells in Jameson Land. Okay, Jacob, do you know anything? Jacob has actually been a source for this group called Denmark Watch, right? Denwatch, who has been monitoring these people because they're an environmental group. And they've been monitoring these people. And I'm going to show you a picture. Here's Jameson Land. Yeah. Jameson Land. Here is the village.
And this is actually, behind me is the settlement of Iktohtomit. The demonstrations that took place now in July.
Did Orla go up?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. That's even more, man. That's spontaneous because Orla's at all of them. But this is amazing. This tiny, tiny little village here, first off, very hard to fly to. There are no daily flights out to Iktohtomit. You
have to go to Iceland.
Charter it is that true?
You might be able to go from Nuuk every now and then, but you can get there from Iceland. I don't know how often.
Yeah,
no, it's not
every
Iceland
couple of
Air.
days.
It's just a little charter thing. Because one of my old contacts who used to be a not Navy SEAL, our version of the Delta Force, the Jaeger Corps, and also did the dog sleigh patrol. He's up there in his sea kayak right now. He's sea kayaking around this place.
He's
right
sea
now.
kayaking? I love sea kayaking.
He's a cool guy.
Y'all never tell me nothing. You know, I got 4 sea kayaks and 3 of them are folding.
You only need one, man.
Whoa, I got my, you know what I have? I have my NATO contract Polish built carbon fiber sea kayak there. But anyway, this is the area where you see these dots. This is the area where they intend to exploratory drill. And from what I understand, one day everybody's sitting there minding their own business, eating caribou snacks and muskox sausage, and this pulls into the harbor. It is a barge carrying 15 containers with, most importantly, I love this part, this tugboat, which came from Copenhagen, came all the way across the Atlantic to pick up this barge, which was, I guess, set up in Nook, on contract through Canada to land drilling equipment into that village. And here's what the locals say. The fuck is this about? We don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Right? And they
it's
came
aside
back
40 kilometers from the village, from the settlement. Yeah.
Yeah. And they came back and did exactly what Trump sycophants did. They lied. They said, we had a town hall a year or so ago, and we got permission to land all of this equipment. Now,
which is bullshit.
Following the Den Watch website, it's all bullshit. Locals are like, no one asked us. Minister of Minerals in Nook is like, the fuck are you talking about? No, we didn't give any contracts here. And now, long story very short, Den Watch has been monitoring their contracts and has found out that coming in September is a giant, massive Arctic container ship that has been purposely contracted by this company that will be landing something like 2 containers of drilling equipment there. And it's coming, right? They don't give a fuck whether there's permission or not. They intend to start drilling in first week of October. Now, can I point out to you that it's the second week of August? They are blitzing this thing. The company's name is Greenland Energy. And like I said, it's run by a Trump sycophant. And they are bringing with them, I shit you not, Dr. Phil McGraw, known as Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
And Dr. fucking Phil, Dr. Phil, all right, is coming up to do a documentary.
Right? You have to documentary.
Wildcat
quotation marks.
Documentary to do a wildcat oil drillers of the farthest east Greenland. Now, I find this is a very interesting factor. I'm going to bring you up a video that was done by these guys that's on Den Watch.
While you find it, I'll just explain the guy behind me here. He is the chairman of the local hunters union, and he's pretty pissed off that his muskox hunting ground will be destroyed by this. So they're pretty upset.
You know what, Jacob? Sounds like in September you and I need to go out to Itorkamik. And we need to go do some muskox hunting because we've been planning to go muskox and caribou hunting forever. And
if you grab some musk, I need some of their musk, please. I need you to grab the musk.
There's nothing up there but muskox, caribou, and baby foxes. And
walrus,
that industry, and you know what those guys will be saying? I'm going to be walrus. Wow. I'm going to be bringing Eric Trump out, and we're going to be filling you up with white muskox hunters, which, by the way, is $20,000 to have a license to hunt muskox there. $20,000.
Mashallah.
So we were going to go out to Sisimiut, and we were going to go hunt caribou and muskox in the wild up there, which you can do because our friend Carlos, he has a muskox. He has a hunter's license. But you can only go out into the wild with a hunter, and you are not allowed
and
out
his
in the
son
wild
is a
up there
badass hunter.
without
His son is a badass hunter.
Is he? You're not allowed up there.
Don't you remember that we met
rifle.
him, man?
Carlos's son. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Carlos's son.
His son right now is sporting a 6.5 Creedmoor suppressed bolt-action sniper rifle with a brand new Night Force optic on it. I don't know where that came from, but and I got to tell you, that weapon is salty. That weapon will take. First off, it already has 35 muskox kills notched in it. We bought it in Greenland. In Greenland, you can buy out of a car trunk. It is technically my rifle, which I gifted to Orla, but Orla's got kids in the house, so he kees it at Carlos's house. And his son, Carlos's son, Carlos has just a bolt-action 303, right, or 30-06, right? That gun looked old. But he's just like, well, I might have killed 100 caribou with it. These people are not jokes. When it comes to go hunting for some food, if we say, hey, we're all going to go out there in Torkavuk and we're going to go meet the hunters, and while we're there, pew, pew, then that would be awesome. But mine is in 6.5 Creedmoor, and I think we have 200 practice rounds.
If you go there and you catch one, I want the part that makes the musk, so I can make perfumes out of it.
That ain't the most valuable part of the muskox.
I don't care. I just want the smelly part.
Okay, besides this part that makes snack, is musk ox wool is like platinum covered gold bars up there, unobtainium. And here's the problem. There are limits on muskox every season. So you can't just go up and shoot them. You actually have to get a license. And you also have to win the muskox lottery. By the way, here's the photograph of Orla's rifle. There, we were zeroing it out on the range. We can't. It's a very nice piece of hardware. The problem is that our range at the end of town, which you can walk to because the town ain't that big a nook, is now where the Danish army is. So we were, shooting out in the fjord, and the Danish army now shoots out in the fjord, and you cannot just bebop up there and start shooting because they'll think you're shooting at them, and they are much more heavily armed, even though most of them now live on did you see the cruise ship that's there? That's their barracks now. There's a big cruise ship down at the port. The Danish Army's
I brought up
base.
the Greenlanders' response here.
So long story very short.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Dr. Phil, these Greenland energy guys, which is led by a Trump lackey, think that they're going to start drilling in October and despoiled it. Now, I saw the video that one of them made, and they flew from Iceland, you're right, in a private charter prop jobber. And they're walking around that area, and they go, you can smell crude. Crude is up on the surface. It's like the TV show, the Beverly Hillbillies, right? Out one day hunting for some food, what come up from the ground, bubbling crude. That's what they think they're going to do. And they're like, this is oil rich. They estimate to get the $250 million they raised off of Wall Street. They are telling people there is $1 trillion of oil in that place. But all you have to do is look at Alaska to see how destroyed that terrain will become to get any oil out of it. And this shit ain't offshore, it's onshore. So I wouldn't be surprised if the hunters up there start suddenly seeing muskox behind their containers. Right? And it just happens to keep missing.
Since they're so up there, they're mostly dependent on for food, right?
Yeah, they are. Let me tell you, that's subsistence living up there. Okay, they don't fly the muskox snack wrapped up in plastic. You gotta go get it.
Exactly. And
same thing with caribou.
Just for people to understand, it's subsistence hunting. And these guys, like our friend there, the head of the Hunters Union, they've been offered 100,000 Danish kroner, which is about, $15,000-$20,000 a month for, to be guardsmen for Greenland Energy. And this guy came out and said, "Fuck off! We don't want $20,000 a month. We don't care. Get out of my face." So they're trying to bribe these people. They're trying to bribe.
Here's why. Guided muskox hunts are $20,000 in a day.
Yeah.
They make bank by being eco-tourist conscious up there. What do you think you know what? They're treating them like the way they treat people in Africa and all their. Why don't you come be the guard for my, capitalist exploitation exercise? And I will make, Eskimo man heap rich. Here's some corn and beads. This is the wrong country, bro.
Just to tell you how crazy this is and the ties to the Trump orbit. I forgot to mention in my show on Thursday that Greenland Energy is also very much into the blockchain universe.
Oh, Jesus.
It's all this Trump blockchain bullshit. That's how crazy it is. So,
that's nuts. Okay, that's nuts because first off, they're going to find out something come October. Winter comes in October. And it does not come like, oh, it's a cool day. I should put on a sweater.
That's a little bit of snow.
When it comes, it comes. Here, let me show y'all a photo. Snow? Are you sure? I'm pretty sure it comes in bigger flavors than snow flavored. This is, I'm going to show y'all a photo. This is me testing out my 8,000 meter suit in preparation to go up to Sisimiut in winter. Okay, now this winter was pretty mild, but you cannot go out in anything less than that. That is way further in the Arctic Circle than Ilulissat. Okay, that is like way up there. And when winter comes in October, if you want to get on a ski-doo, that's how you have to be dressed. Because you can't transport yourself unless you're on a ski-doo.
Ilulissat is up here. Sisimiut
and
is
it's
here.
Cold.
Nuuk
Arctic
is here.
cold. Pretty warm. And show them Jameson Land.
Jameson Land is
there.
Up here. All the way up here. And, from Tasiilaq, which is 2,000 people, to the next settlement, Itortumit, which is 320 people, there's 800 kilometers. 800 kilometers of ice and mountains. Some of the mountains here are 3,700 meters. So it's not, it's not a cakewalk,
It's okay.
It's 800 kilometers,
They're going to live on that ship. They're going to live on that ship, and they'll have a grand old time. living on that ship, exploiting the waters. And I have a bad feeling this is what's going to happen. They're just going to fucking do it without permission of anybody.
Yeah.
And they're saying that, like you said, that bribes are the way that they think they're going to come out there. I just want to show you
and change facts on the ground. You know, it's about changing facts on the ground, like
by
the Russians.
showing up and just doing it. And of course, now there is a protest. There's a protest that can be lodged there, and which is the governor of Greenland can ask the governor of Canada to forbid that ship to carry out that contract and to show up in Greenlandic waters. But I find this very interesting that the place that they chose, Jameson Land, which is way up there in the Northeast, is nowhere near where they were trying to do Arctic exploration before, which was way in the south, right near Katurtak, and where it's relatively warm, way in the south, right down there. That's where the gold mine is, that you have to take a car, and drive a mile underground to get under the ice to where the rock is, where you can start drilling into the dirt. All right? They're going way up there. Here's why I think this is significant. For the Danes to dispatch one of the two patrol vessels up there to stop it would be a 3-day transit, and it would reduce your ability to patrol anywhere else. And this is like, hey, well, while we're watching that, let's just show up there, offload all of this shit, and then start promising them everything that they're doing. And, promising them that this will bring in all sorts of money. We will hire, I wouldn't be surprised if they say, we will hire the hunting guides for the whole season to shoot the entire allocation of muskox as a bribe. But as you said, these guys aren't bribable. Okay, they don't play around with that shit. No. And I think this project will, if it happens, Trump will do something dramatic, some stupid shit. But this is how they're going to get around. Or Trump will declare that it's a national security priority, and he has to protect them. I wouldn't be surprised if he does something stupid like send up a warship. By the way, I'm going to show you guys something interesting since one of my explorations.
They brought in the little snake here in Copenhagen, Ken Howery, for consultations. And
these were all the guys at the reception that we weren't allowed to go to at the American consulate, right?
Yeah.
Greenland Energy, all these guys. Prior to that, I want to show you something. This was the only Russian presence that we saw when we were in Greenland.
Oh, the ski Nazis.
The ski Nazi mega yacht. This is a mega yacht.
Nazi?
I will explain that in a moment. This is a mega yacht owned by a Russian oligarch, which he keeps during the winter season in Greenland. This is a $100 million yacht. If you look on the end of it, you'll see an Air Greenland helicopter. They, for the whole season, generally charter 3 of these helicopters back there. This boat is for rich billionaire ski Nazis. And what they do is they take this vessel and they go up the coast, the western coast of Greenland, and they find pristine coastline like this. They fly these ski bum billionaire friends and their friends on a party cruise. They pull up along the coast. They jump on the helicopters. The helicopter shuttles them to the top of a mountain of pristine snow that has not been reconnaissanced. And they do this deliberately because that's the risk, right? There could be an avalanche. And if you go up the Greenland coast in an airplane for 2 hours, which is like 300 kilometers, there's nothing there but coast like this. And there's nobody there. And what they do is they fly the ski Nazis to the top of the mountain. And they ski down fresh snow. And then what else happens is another helicopter flies in their fucking lunch.
and the DJ and the disco and the bar that's
The
set up at
techno
the
rave.
bottom, the techno rave. And after a day of hard skiing down Ski Nazi Mountain, they have a big, wild, drunken ass party, and then they're all shuttled over by helicopter back to the Ski Nazi surf ship, which goes up the coast to find more fresh tracks, bros. I've met these ski Nazis when I was staying at the Hotel Schirma. I could only get the plank room, which cost me $175 a night. A plank bed, a small sink, and a place to hang my coat. That's all the room I had. They had rented out the rest of the hotel. They would walk around this hotel, I shit you not, in ski salopettes, their ski, jumpers, and their boots and shit all day long, sitting in the bar drinking. And the moment the motherfuckers found out I wasn't part of the ski Nazi apparatus, they stopped talking to me because they're billionaire. They're all brown, right? Like Trump, right? With the pink eyes showing. Because all they do is wear goggles and ski, bro. Ski.
And then they bring rifles and shit and destroy the fishing nets of the fishermen.
Don't forget, the ski Nazis were involved in an incident where they were shooting off of that ship they brought the rifles up onto the grounds thinking, with the justification that it's wild Greenland, you're required to have a rifle in some places. Actually, you have to have a hunter with a hunter's license, right? You can have a rifle, right? I can wander around with a rifle. These guys started shooting at fishing buoys, those orange cones that were in the water, that fishermen were servicing. They were pulling up their nets. And these guys just opened fire on them for fun. And as a matter of fact, this is exactly what it looks like. When you're out servicing your nets, this is Orla Yolson, and this is in Nook Harbor, and it was Arctic ass cold, where you go out on your boat and you pull up the nets, and the nets have these orange balls attached to them to show this is where your land is. And it is cold. That's cold in Nook. These guys are up in the Arctic Circle, full ass Arctic Circle, where it's like minus 10 degrees Celsius, or it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And these guys were shooting at fishermen's balls for funsies.
The Arctic Circle starts around about here. That's what the Simute, right? And then
that's what these oligarch billionaires are bringing to Greenland, right? And that's why the American embassy went from 275 square feet to 32,000 square feet. So if you need to know more, go watch Jacob's show. That's still recorded. It's on Substack, right?
Yeah, it's from Thursday, yeah.
Okay. And learn about what's happening because, again,
and I think a Guardian journalist was probably listening in and then decided to do his article without quoting me, but because it's all what I talked about.
Yeah. All right. Let me see if there's a couple of questions and then we will head out. I know it's Sunday. Everybody wants to go out. I am smart. I went out and did the bulk of my gardening work, which was pulling out 3-foot high weeds out of a rose garden.
15K in the kayak this morning.
I hate you. I don't get any goddamn kayaking time. You know why? Because I'm not in Canada. When I was in Canada, it was like kayak every morning.
15K.
Back here when I'm at the house, I got to clean and I have to do the garden. Garden's freaking 5 acres or 4 acres or something like that. So let me go to your questions that you sent onto, that's not it, onto the website. Here it is, Yemen Cat. Is Trump order for several ice cutters part of his plan to invade Greenland? No, because they're buying them from Finland and they're being outfitted in Canada. And it's going to take like 4 years for us to get those, right?
This is the view, Malcolm, from the chalet of the spies.
Chalet of the Spies. That's
I
any
remember
place Jacob
seeing
and
this.
I are together. And you know what we're going to have to do next time? I shit you not. We got to bring brother Dexter Ingram up there so that the black spies can outnumber the white spies.
Iktotomit. Can we get a chalet in Iktotomit?
I'm definitely sure that somebody's got a shed, a hunting shed that we can go to up there. So somebody says, what action can Greenland and Denmark take against illegal landing of oil equipment? William Farr says, I think they could could and should seize the property. There are 300 containers of equipment which they could and should seize. If the constabulary is not enough, I'm sure that they could deputize the Danish special forces of the island to at least provide protection to the cops. I think what they would likely do is set the fisheries vessel. The Danish Navy operates 3 fisheries protection vessels, and they are not small, and they are not unarmed. They have 76 millimeter guns on them. They can sink a large, ship. And we went on to one. We did a show. And we were in Greenland about it. But their vessels that are up stationed, here it is, the Flyvefisken class patrol vessel. Flyvefisken. That's what I said. Flyvefisken. There's fisheries area. There's that Danish boat. Okay. But these things are semi-Arctic rated, which means that they can go through ice fields, deep ice fields. They have a helipad on some of them. They have not just that 76 millimeter gun, which is serious business. Right? They have other machine guns. You can see back here, there's 50 caliber machine guns mounted back here in case they got to do a shot against your bow. And a couple of them have helicopter pads in the rear, and they can also go as far north, way up to way in the North Arctic to support the Cirrus patrols if they have to. That's the dog sled teams, which is
I'll just show you where the base is. The base is just north of Iktotomit. Yeah. Iktotomit,
what's the name of that
Mestersvik. It's not a town. It's just the barracks. It's just the barracks. Because
you need to get
this is all uninhabited. This big part of Greenland is all uninhabited.
Yeah, well, and that's why these guys patrol. And they're hard as fucking nails, the Cirrus patrol. They serious as a motherfucker. They are. That is the pinnacle of Danish special forces. Because you do 30-day, 90-day patrols on your own, unsupported. On your own. You,
2 guys,
another guy, and
12
2 dog sleds.
And a dog sleigh.
And I'm going to show, and let me tell you, your responsibility is to go and see if there is people up there or traces of anyone up there, and to report what you see. And the king of Denmark fully qualified in that, right? He was a Navy SEAL, and a Danish Navy SEAL, and a Cirrus patrol candidate. Operator.
He's not a pushover.
That guy is serious. Seems like a fun guy, too. Weren't we supposed to try to get lunch with him? He seems like a very fun guy.
The bureaucracy here protects him. I don't know why.
All you got to do is say, hey, brother, there's a podcast called Black Man Spy, and he likes to go up into Greenland. He's like, just bring him over for lunch. Nobody will know. And they'll go, he's with Jacob Garsbo, though. And that's how we know we're going to get invited. But I just want to show you something about the Cirrus patrols real quick. We went onto that ship for a port visit. They had bought a ship up for a port visit. And one of the things that they displayed was just what the Cirrus patrol eats in just 1 day's calorie count, right? Isn't that what this, I think is it 1 day or is this 1 week of rations on that table? You'll see the sign clearly in a moment. But
So 5 days.
5 days rations. All right, yeah, but they're out for 90.
Day. Yeah. They're hungry boys.
Because you got to eat.
I think even
You have to eat.
women can qualify as well, but to my knowledge, there haven't been any women qualified yet.
And this is the little tent that you live in, right? There's the kid. It was very cute. There were lots of kids there. This was the Cirrus Patrol bought all of their equipment to Nuuk to demonstrate to everybody what they carry. This is their sled right there. There are 2 of those, and they have, is it 12 dogs on their sled?
Yeah.
25,000 calories for 5 days, they say. That is, you're pounding, and lots of chocolate in there, just massive quantities of chocolate in there. And they've got, this is the hangar with all their weapons, their boats that the Danish Navy are in. Yeah. Oh, it's chocolate, yeah. And it's highly concentrated chocolate. This actually is very interesting. If you are trapped in the Arctic ice in a boat or something, all of this equipment is dropped to you from an aircraft, including a shelter, a tent, all this Arctic equipment, and 5 days of the Cirrus Patrol's rations, because people do get trapped out there. All of this equipment is dropped to you in that orange container you see to the left. And of course, the Cirrus Patrol has also weapons. And this is some of the weapons that they carry. That's a Canadian version of the M4 that's a Lewis Machine and Tool version of the Canadian C-80 rifle that they carry up there. There's squad automatic weapons and things like that. These are also on the Danish Navy vessels. But the Cirrus Patrol carries a bolt-action M1917 30-06 bolt-action rifle, because it's mechanical and it will kill. It will kill a polar bear. They ain't playing no games when it comes to the polar bears.
Does it ever freeze?
Well, does it what? No, those guns don't freeze because they're straight up mechanical. All you need is oil, a thick pasting of oil on there. And that is reliable. So when you're at minus 25 Celsius, you don't want some semi-automatic M4 rifle jamming on your ass. You want something that's going to go bang stick when the polar bear comes. And when we went and visited the Arctic Command headquarters, they had a bear skin that was there, and they had next to the bear skin the photograph of the bear approaching the dogs, and it was going to eat the dogs, and it shows the guy with the rifle. Their distance was about 15 feet. In fact, he was like, I have to kill the polar bear. He is going to attack. He's going to eat the dogs and then eat us. And that polar bear skin is on the wall of Arctic Command. And it is serious business. What is all this cultural indoctrination for Greenland about? It's serious business up there. And when I went up there, we were in the lower Arctic, man, and it was cold as fuck. And when we were in Nuuk, it was having a warm winter, very warm winter. Mm-hmm. And I still slipped on ice and hurt my neck for 3 months. I mean, if you weren't wearing ice cleats out there and fully bundled up, that game is not a joke up there. So all of this is now being threatened. Oh, by the way, and this was a patch that a Danish guy who is leading a what he calls a survival group. This is their patch of the Greenland Defense Self-Defense Force, or now what he calls it is the Greenland Subsistence and Survival Force, right? Because that's what they want to do, is teach those qualities. But it's Ice Bear with a harpoon and a long rifle. So, all right. Tony goes, I want one. Okay, we're going to get those. Okay, guys, thanks for coming to this episode of Black Man Spy. I'm sorry we went long. We did want to. extended version, we felt it was important to talk about Greenland again. Go watch Jacob's show that he did on Thursday. You can get a full hour's discussion of this. And Wajeeh now wants to go up into the cold. I don't know why, because you already live in Minneapolis. Do you even leave the house?
Oh yeah, I do leave the house all the time. It's home now. But I was gonna ask you guys a question, something we haven't touched on. Your take on Trump 14 points for the Gaza, 15 points for the plan in Gaza, and Israel refusing it and all of that.
Well, save it for tomorrow. We already went over that. We touched on that a week ago when we talked about the plan to disarm Hamas. And Israel was like, no, you're not. No, you're not coming down here doing nothing. You're not cutting any deals behind our back. That is a serious situation I think we should talk about tomorrow. So let's put that on the top of the agenda.
3 minutes ago, Hamas said, and they're calling for the full implementation of the Trump 15-point plan.
Hamas? Is it Joe Hamas from Doha, Qatar, sitting in a hotel suite drinking whiskey? Or is it the Hamas organization? Is it the Hamas organization?
They were kicked out of Qatar, actually, with the request of Donald Trump.
Trump has got some guy named Joe Hamas, and he's now representing Hamas for the Trump administration. And he goes, "We have a deal with Hamas, not a lie." So, all right, guys, thanks for coming to this extended version of Black Spy. If you are watching this on YouTube, you missed it. You missed the live show. So come over to Substack or watch it again on YouTube. For those of you who came in late, you can go on YouTube or you can go on Substack and you can watch the show again and get all the jokes, read the chat. It will be hilarious. If you become a paid subscriber, you get to participate in the ridiculously hilarious chat of paid subscribers that we have here and special paid subscribers events. I may have to come bring Jacob up and do Greenland again. So I will see you all tomorrow. Go have a nice Sunday. Put all this out of your mind. Let us handle this and we will take care. Jacob, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. All right, everybody, have a good day off. Bye-bye.